budget for 2019 presents with it proposals both on the revenue side and expenditure side, which will come up for debate as we understand it more. But if you look at it from a more macro point of view, we can see that there is a path of fiscal consolidation with the budget deficits coming down. But if you look at what was given in 2018 and what was realized in 2018, the numbers were slightly too optimistic in terms of their estimate. And we see a similar projection for 2019 as well. So I think in terms of that requires a 21% increase in government tax revenue, which is also quite an optimistic estimate, given that only revenue grew about 5% this year. There are more additional revenue proposals which are more executable this year compared to last year, with some of the proposals only implemented towards the latter half of the year. But having said that, I think it'll be a very challenging task to get that 21% growth in revenue. What we're also seeing is, in terms of some of the growth estimates, a bit of a concerning picture, because the growth estimate for 2018 was 3%, for 2019 it's 3.5%, and from 2020 to 2020 that growth just goes up by small decimal points as the years go on, and doesn't even touch 5% in the next 3 to 4 years. So that's a bit of a concern in terms of the growth projection, because there is concern in terms of debt repayment and in terms of how we improve some of other indicators which rely a lot on growth. If you look at some of the thematic areas which run through the budget, we do see an emphasis in terms of certain trade proposals, some of the continuation of strategies such as the National Export Strategy, getting allocations, which will definitely help the implementation of such strategies. On the investment side, we see incentives given for more large-scale investments, big-ticket items in terms of 50 million to 100 million, 100 million and above, being given upfront tax relief in terms of some of the taxes during the construction phase or the setting up phase of these investments. So it'll be interesting to see whether these will be catalysts for FDI growth, which in the past has relied on big-ticket items to get the FDI number higher. As has been in 2018, we've seen an emphasis on two government programs, Enterprise Sri Lanka and Gamperelia, and the budget further strengthens some of these activities with more allocations. We don't see an overall, in terms of the budget, don't see an overall emphasis on carrying out or executing on some of the big ticket reforms that are being discussed in terms of energy, in terms of land, and we see from that perspective a more realistic scenario given the political economy of the country at present. But as key, as we've highlighted a lot in past budgets as well, a lot of the proposals, though really good in nature, most of them will really depend on the execution, which has been kind of like the Achilles heel of Sri Lanka's budgets of the past, and that will be the real test to see whether at least most of it, or at least a good chunk of it, gets implemented in 2019, so that we'll see the benefit moving forward. So that's a quick wrap on the budget for 2019.